So, one of the reasons why I have to travel now as a teacher is because I guess as a surfer, if you want to live in Canada, you can live here in a town of 1,500 people, but as a yoga teacher, it's hard to make a living.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually, to be honest with you, don't want to travel as
Hmm.
much as I'm doing.
Hmm.
Um, I actually want to build more local community,
Hmm.
but it, just with my economic situation right now, I have to travel in order to balance out where I want to live because I don't
Hmm.
have enough
Yeah.
people to really make it as a running a yoga studio here kind of thing, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was actually one of my questions for you as well.
oh
Is
yeah, what's that?
well, just about traveling and the consumption of resources that happen with traveling
Oh,
and the
also,
like being a committed environmentalist
yeah.
and ocean worshiper and the yeah, I just find it really interesting. That I'm glad you addressed that because it was
No, it's a contradiction. I'm the first one to admit it, and I think more people in the yoga industry need to admit it because I mean, yeah, you can look at my life and think I travel a lot, but there's a whole other
yeah,
level
yeah.
of travel that I, look at. And frankly, I don't really want a part of it,
Mm-hmm,
Like, I mean,
mm-hmm,
I look at, even Al Gore is traveling all the time to promote what he's doing.
mm-hmm.
Deepak Chopra, I went to the Deepak Chopra Center in La Jolla when I was there, and we were talking to the people there. I'm like, oh, is he around? He's like, oh no, he's on the road 265 days of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and start looking at all the stars of the yoga journal, and there's an intense travel schedule.
Yeah,
So no, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, it's the thing that really is out of balance in my life, and I'm really trying to find a way to fix it. I mean, so how do I do it? Um, I'm trying to make as much stuff digital as I possibly can, so
mm-hmm.
make as many. I mean, we have a thing on our website, on the Plasology.com website, so you can download all the videos and stuff. So those are paid services, but I also try and make the podcast and everything free, so
Yeah,
there's a free content as well. So, I mean, I want to give as much stuff as way
yeah,
for free as I possibly can digitally, but also I got to make a living too,
yeah,
right? So that
exactly.
comes from, and plus the productions of these videos are massive,
Yeah.
and they're all self-produced, so still got to pay all that off. But no, it's the big question that needs to get asked in the yoga world is how can you talk about everything being connected and then have this intense travel schedule? But also, you know, I might have to set up in the U.S.
Hmm.
I might have to,
Hmm.
because I mean, Vancouver's got everything waiting for me. I mean, I love dearly. I miss so much the community of classes that I was teaching there. They were the most affordable yoga classes. They were non-corporate. I never took anyone's money ever. There was such a good vibe. I mean, the most amazing people I've ever experienced. And but then I'm a surfer.
Yeah.
So already that set me up there. I had to travel every weekend, like 10 hours of driving.
Yeah.
So you know I don't know. At this point, one of the ways I'm trying to resolve it is looking into possibly moving to California,
Wow.
where I can build a local community and not have to
Yeah.
travel so much
Yeah.
and have surf down the street.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wrestle with it. I would
Yeah.
move to Sydney, Australia too, but the only thing is it's so far away from my family.
Mm.
Yeah, right. That's the only thing that's stopping me because really, there's I got a lot of needs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a special needs yoga instructor. If I just taught yoga, it'd be fine, but I need a lot of nature and I need
Huh.
surf as well. So,
Yeah.
so these are things that I'm trying to reconcile. And on the travel thing, I for every flight I take, I do buy carbon credits. I think that's a little bit. Carbon credits are like modern day they're going to a priest and getting absolved.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think they're a little bit like confessionals,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but they do have some impact. So I do absolutely buy carbon credits for everything. So I'm wrestling with it, and
Mm-hmm.
those are
Mm-hmm.
some short answers of where we've gotten so far.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. I totally appreciate your honesty in that because it's a hard place to be. I think
Oh,
for.
it's on my mind. It's on my mind 20, 30 times a day.
Yeah.
I spend time thinking about it.
But one of the awesome things about traveling a lot and being on the road a lot is that you're going to be in Toronto in less than 2 weeks at the Yoga Festival Toronto,
Yeah,
and you just came from Wanderlust as well,
yeah,
and you've been kind of doing the little cool festival circuit.
yeah.
Um, and how important is it for yogis and yoga practitioners to come together in community at these kind of gatherings? Like, and how important is it for for yourself as a teacher to be involved in that? And
Um, it depends. I mean, I find the festivals are all so different. I mean, I'm really excited about the yoga festival in Toronto um, because it seems to have a really great vision behind it as far as all the conversations and the really deep learning that goes on there. So I think it's important. I mean, I don't think it has to be done in a festival format. I mean, it's kind of like saying how important is it for you when you go to a restaurant to have an all-you-can-eat buffet or something versus just going for French food if that's what you want. You don't might not need all the options there in front of you, kind of thing. It does make it more convenient, and does in one sense it makes the experience deeper because you're around that many more people on the quest for self-development and building a better world and
yeah, the
exploring this
responsibility
thing
for
called yoga,
connections.
so that's an energy that you pick up,
Yeah.
um, and in another sense, it's actually a dilution. It's kind of what I was talking about. Being a traveling teacher means you have a broad, you've set your focus broad, but you can miss the narrow a little bit too, and so I mean you can learn a lot in your local community as well too. So this was interesting. I mean, Wanderlust was.
Yeah.
Actually, what I did there is I did a talk on yoga for the modern era,
Okay.
and one of the things I was talking about is that yoga is so different than where it came from in India. Things change and they get transplanted, and this is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just different. And when I looked at Wanderlust, it's like this is Woodstock. These are the values of the Woodstock generation, except we've replaced getting high on drugs with the high of yoga, which is again more sustainable. It's instead of feeling high one night and like crap the next, you actually you do a little work. I call it's like a reverse. It's the reverse of drugs, where you actually get the hangover first. You actually have to do the work first, and then you get the high that lasts for months afterwards. But otherwise, I find it's yoga really mixed with dance and art and celebration and community and but also social activism and environmentalism as well. And the talk was about how there's all that's kind of how I view yoga for the modern era. Is mixed with all those values, which is great. I mean, to mix it with social activism and environmentalism is, I think, a great move.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a necessary move because it really addresses where we need yoga to go in our world. But what we're playing with is commercialism too, and so how do we've had this conversation a lot. How do you balance those two forces out?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I was really saying is that everyone in the yoga industry needs to know that they have a passion for what they're doing, and they got into it for a very pure reason, probably. And then there's the business side of it, and we all have to check in every hour, every day, and go. It's this balance thing again. I got to make sure my passion's larger than my desire for income.
Then the business drive and
Yeah.
and we all have to make a living.
Yeah, you got to have the business drives. That just like that ego thing. It's all this balancing thing. You can't just. I mean, I don't know. I feel like if there's anything hard about what I'm trying to present, it's that it's about really being critical of your own self and asking yourself the hard questions and not just rationalizing things, but really coming to terms with where, trying to balance these forces out. And we think so much as a society in terms of absolutes, like, no, don't eat wheat, and eat whatever you want at Christmas, but then fast, or go on a cleanse on New
Mm-hmm.
Year's,
Mm-hmm.
party like crazy during Carnival and fast during Lent. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's hard to find the middle ground, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, for me, that's what I'm trying to learn from my yoga practice is
Yeah.
how to walk the middle path and how to be aware and critical and engaged and selfless and take care of myself, like all those things
Yeah.
reconciling.
And to me, honestly, I can only talk about my own experience, but I feel really reassured when there's other people who come up with the same
Mm.
conclusions. But this place that I keep trying to describe, I mean, I'm trying not to put a word on it because
Yeah.
um, it's a mystical place,
Yeah.
that we tap into.
Yeah.
That I was saying is at the heart of the Blissology mission. I think it actually helps you to find that balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's the source of wisdom. Wisdom is about sustainability. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
basically, when I look at what wisdom really is, it's knowledge with a sustainability filter tapped
Mm.
onto it.
Hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
I mean, because yeah, I can do this, but is it sustainable? I don't know. And so when you find this balance point in everything, you realize that that's what makes things both wise and sustainable. And there's a place inside all of us that we tap into. And I think you get there in meditation. I think you get there in physical yoga during shavasana.
Hmm.
You know, and 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 I think you get there in a hammock.
Hmm.
Coming back to that topic, right? I do. I mean, you can get there in a hammock. Some people get in a hammock and they drink Coronas and they might not get there, right? I give a guitar to someone, they may play Metallica or they may play Celine Dion. I mean, the hammock should, right? But 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 that's kind of the idea is that there's when you slow down and look up at a tree or something, you open up to experience to something that will guide you through this wisdom, and I hope we can all find it
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah. This is a really great note to end on.
Yeah,
And yeah, let's thank you so much. I'm
yeah,
gonna hit stop on the recorder thing here.